this morning with my back chat telling me it began in 1689, and after rising, the realisation that polarity playouts are inherently involved in my smoking of cigarettes, a multitude of them. No doubt I discovered polarity in my first blog at Destiny Forum, as it was called at the time. The material's inaccessible any longer. I'm not concerned about that actually. I have a copy though. It's on a hard drive that's on the floor over there, and I need to get a lead to enable me to plug it into the USB connector in this machine to access it myself. I'm no longer being able to access the material I left at Destiny Forum initially. It is now being close to the public. I welcome the initiative that created the opportunities for them to do that. In fact, I'm having as much fun at the Destiny Intro Forum as I have ever had anywhere, though that is not to suggest it is entertainment in effect or in fact. I'm enjoying investigating myself. I'm enjoying realising myself. Wonderful opportunity that. I'm having to check my participation actually. In fact, there's a polarity in that, and that I don't want to spread myself interactively too thin, whilst at the same time the assistance one will get is equal to one's inputs, and so there is polarity there, also polarity. I need to deal with it. Previously I would have said on top of all the other things I need to deal with, though, all the things I need to deal with. Are undoubtedly polarity based. Perhaps. Maybe. I shall find out. There is no doubt in that. There's even polarity in the eradication of polarity so far, in that what's best for all is best for all. There is no polarity inherent in that, though as I have not been applying myself what's best for all, that is polarity in itself. And the one where I have not been the words disappear. The way, wow. The one way I have not been applying myself as best for all is by smoking cigarettes. It is not best for all. That even pollution on such a small scale that others have no choice other than to share with me my cigarette smoking is fine. It's subtle, it's fine, it's infinite, as it is. And my justifications even, well, I don't drive cars and I don't fly planes, irrelevant, actually. Participation, Anthony, even. That was the purpose of this vlog, to note polarity, and also to note the back chat telling me it began in 1689. I only had a quick glance at 1689. So now check up 1869 also. the numbers just seem to be I won't distract myself or anybody else with that. January the 11th, glorious revolution, the Parliament of England declares King James II of England deposed. Though within a month, William III and Mary II are proclaimed co-rulers of England, Scotland, Ireland. It must have been when Britain was formed. Catholics and Protestants bitching with each other as usual. Bill of Rights, 1869, establishes constitutional monarchy in England, but with Roman Catholics barred from the throne. Parliament also passes the Act of Toleration, protecting Protestants and Roman Catholics internationally excluded. Protecting Protestants with Roman Catholics internationally excluded. Let's realise religion is a belief system. Even if there is a God, God has vacated the, as far as I can see anyway with that religion, we've always been on our own. The idea has never been to worship gods. And I really perhaps don't want to get into the fact that the first thing God did to his creation was lie to it. Do not eat the fruit, you shall surely die in the day. The serpent comes along and says, eat the fruit, you shall not die in the day. They ate the fruit, they didn't die. So he lied. The serpent or the God, Yahweh. Though there is perspective that says that we might have had eternal life upon the earth if we had not eaten of the fruit, whatever the fruit was. Apparently it's not an apple actually. And even so, perhaps as a consequence of eating the fruit, the gods left man to deal with it, man itself, according to the book. And the book itself that states that in my culture, my religious culture, is actually a rewrite of earlier transcripts, although apparently the same gods only have different names, apparently. And throughout the book, the Christian, Judeo-Christian, Islamic religion, Abrahamic religion, I was quite surprised. I was having a conversation with a female of the Muslim faith in the laundrette. Great place to talk to people, laundrettes. Most people have a washing machine myself now. In fact, the nearest laundrette's quite a long way off, so in fact it was one of the deciding factors in taking this property, that it had a washing machine left in by the previous tenant, and the landlord was willing to sign it over to me. I was having a conversation with a female from the Muslim faith in the laundrette, and she, well, I said that Adam was a bit thick, weren't he? Meaning, when he was given the opportunity to name all the animals, if he was just the animals, I don't know if he had the opportunity to name everything. When he had the opportunity to name everything or name the animals, if he had any sense, any common sense, he would have said, yes, it is called life. Instead he separated it from life and gave it all different names, apparently. So the legend, myth goes. All history becomes myth eventually. It's in its nature, although history, it's history. I mean, what is history anyway? It's man writing his agenda down, justified, after the fact, always the case. Polarity. There's a polarity there, isn't there? Eat of the fruit, and you shall surely die in the day. They eat of the fruit, they didn't die in the day. Though the day is the day of life itself, and you shall no longer live eternally because you have disobeyed the God. I mean, if what was he doing putting that there in any case if it wasn't there to be accessed? And I maintain anyway, I don't believe in anything myself. It's been a useful tool to apply over the years for one reason and another, though anyone wanting to believe in that Jehovah God Allah only needs to read the first chapter of the first book in that series. The rest of it's gossip. The rest of it's gossip and bog of Yahweh, Jehovah, the unpronounceable one. Who is it? Anyway, is it Enki, Enil, Anu or Marduk? There's some stories say it's Marduk, there's some say it's Anu. And then Enki is involved in, if the God who spoke to Noah was the God who told them not to eat of the fruit. And let's make them in our image. Who was he talking to? It talking to itself. And it has two faces anyway, the God and the devil. The devil is on the other face of God. It's polarity, perhaps. This was not about religion, this video. It was about polarity, and my realisation this morning that my investigation into my smoking habit, my search for pleasure, my search for myself outside of myself, my memory, my avoidance, my focused distraction, my finishing of a thing while starting again, my conceding associations, my self-harm, my destruction. To understand that, I have been smoking recently as a health measure as such. Only the health measure is only partial to my previous abuse with previous substances. I'm aware of removing them from my body. I will not divulge the full information on how one goes about doing such a thing, as I am concerned that others might try to do the same, and it is not advisable, no less has assisted me. And I have now spoken for 13 and a half minutes. Gosh, didn't time fly? Polarity is inherently playing out in my experience of myself, and I must stop it myself, because there is no one else who will do it for me myself. I